In this episode 18 of the Daily Hustle Show, we answer the all-important time management and priority management question, and also Darth Vader stops by.
Broadcasting from the box that rocks and Thrive15.com world headquarters, it's the Daily Hustle with Daniel McKenna.
Welcome to episode 18 of the Daily Hustle. Over there is the very tall Marshall Morris. I am Daniel McKenna, and today we are talking about a much requested topic. We're talking about time management. So if you are someone that wants to structure your day and your priorities and do more with your time here on Earth, this is going to be something that's going to be great for you. Marshall Morris, how are you doing over there, buddy?
I'm doing exceptionally well. And so just as important as time management is for people to understand how good of a friend you are.
No.
Dan, you have come to my salvation this morning in a big way.
Well,
and
specifically Starbucks.
Starbucks in a big way.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you what, you're getting me through this morning, and
Well,
I appreciate you.
We appreciate the people at Starbucks that have supplied Marshall with both the caffeine and the nourishment necessary to keep him alive one more day.
If only Starbucks would pay us for that plug.
Well, yes, that would be better. But in the meantime, we'll just say, hey, thanks. We appreciate that. Okay, let's dive into this. There's actually three questions today. Typically, we'll handle with one question, but there's three questions that are so similar, we're going to knock them all out at the same time. Marshall, kind of go rapid fire here. Hit me with these three questions. We're talking about time management.
Can I get some mojo?
Oh, please. That's a good amount of mojo. We can roller skate backwards.
Yeah,
this mojo.
Okay, here, check it out. This one is from Michael. He says, time management. I manage many departments, and the days can easily get away from me. Mastering time and laying out my day will help me to become much more successful. That's from Michael. Then we have one from Samuel. Getting better at time management while factoring in your family. I'm getting better at time management. However, because my wife and I work strange time frames and sometimes different days, blocking out time for family and friends can be very difficult. Do you have any suggestions that could help with that? And the number 3, this is from Sarah. Sarah says, our marketing is working, but now we don't have enough time to make all of the sales calls needed. The system I designed is for referrals to get 5 phone calls. Right now, there are 28 people that haven't gotten called and 312 that have only gotten 1 call. We are spending more time training during the day because of all the new business coming in. I don't know how to keep up with all of the sales calls.
So that was a Michael, Samuel, Sarah combo of questions. And we're all talking about how do we get more time out of our day. Common question. Common thing that you probably deal with, I deal with, Marshall deals with. How do we optimize the time today? How can we use today's time, best case scenario, to hit the things we need to hit? So these are all common things that we get all the time. Marshall, do you see this very often with the people that you work with?
Literally have worked with this particular problem maybe 4 times with 4 of the different clients that we coach with in the past 36 hours.
In the past 36 hours?
Yeah.
So this is an ongoing thing that you got to kind of keep getting better at.
Yeah, 100%.
And just in case you don't know, Marshall Morris over here, he's an author. He is a Thrive 15 business consultant and the founder of Madness Media. I'm a founder of Epic Productions, co-founder of Thrive 15. And we're excited to jump into this question. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3 principles of time and priority management. And then, as an added bonus, we're going to get into the actual practical steps, the system that Lee Cockrell uses. The time management magic system.
Let's do it.
Okay, number 1 of the principles of time and priority management. Number 1, embrace trade-offs. Write this down at home. Write this down. Number 1, embrace trade-offs. Marshall, Jack Welch, he was a former CEO of GE. We've talked about him before on the show. He grew the company by 4,000% during his tenure. Read me the Jack Welch quote here.
He says, there's no such thing as work-life balance. There are work-life choices, and you make them. And they have consequences. That's all she wrote for that.
I keep hearing questions about work-life balance, though.
Yeah, that is not a thing.
You're saying that's not a thing?
It's not a thing.
But that's what this episode's about. Is about finding the work-life balance. It's fine.
No,
it's not real.
It's never going to be in perfect balance. It's never going to be in perfect balance.
Well, just in case I don't believe Jack Welch, Jack Welch, I heard he was a jerk. I heard he was mean to people, and I heard he kicked a puppy one time. That's what I heard.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't believe him. We're gonna go on to John Maxwell. John Maxwell, best-selling author, speaker. He has a big business coaching online thing that they do. It's like, I'm not sure how they specifically execute it, but they coach a lot of businesses as well. John Maxwell, read me the John Maxwell quote here.
Okay, John Maxwell, he says, time management is an oxymoron. Time is beyond our control, and the clock keeps ticking regardless of how we lead our lives. Priority management is the answer to maximizing the time that we have.
So both Jack Welch and John Maxwell, two very successful people that have worked in businesses, in big businesses, grown big businesses, they are saying there's no such thing as controlling your time. You're making a choice.
Yeah.
You're embracing a trade-off. You're saying, I get that today I get 24 hours total, and this week I get however many hours total, so I have to decide what I'm going to do with that time. Meaning that as you get more busy and more successful and more responsibilities are laid on you, whether it's work or family or whatever, it's not possible to do everything in one day. Is that right?
That's right.
So we have to embrace that there are trade-offs. Okay, that's principle number 1. We're embracing what is a trade-off to do these principles of time and priority management, and we'll get into this because we're talking about how do we get the most important things done. If it's not possible to get it all done, this is saying it's not possible to get it all done. We're talking about get the most important things done. Okay, principle number 2. Principle number 2. I feel like we're probably already offending a few people, but that's all right. We'll keep going. Principle number 2. This is from Lee Cockrell, this next quote here. He has the time management magic system, and you can go buy his book right now on this subject. His principle number 2, what is scheduled gets done. Go ahead and give me the quote there from Lee Cockrell there, Marshall.
Okay, what is scheduled gets done. This is what he says. You either pay now or pay later with just about every decision you make about where and how you spend your time.
This isn't as fluffy as an episode as I was hoping. This isn't as like a nice this is, you know what I mean? Like this is a little bit more like, well, got to make a choice.
Yeah.
Choose now, and you're going to pay one way or the other for on down the line.
Yep.
Now, in this case, you can see that as a good thing. You can see that as, well, if I don't play video games now, I'll probably be bad at video games later, or I'll have less fun as a whole this week. Mm-hmm. But if I spend more time now writing SEO, which is the worst thing possible, then potentially my business crawls up the Google ranks, I get more sales, and then further on down the line, that means more sales I can use to create the lifestyle that I want, and then maybe 10 years from now, I get to play video games again.
That's one way to look at it.
That's one way to look at it. Give me another way to look at it there, Marshall. How does this quote hit you? You either pay now or pay later with just about every decision you make about where and how you spend your time.
I think it's important to understand that some of the things that you have to do today will not have that payoff until years down the line. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, I just want to add emphasis to it. It's a good point. I want to add emphasis to that.
Okay.
So what about...
Oh, Billy.
Yeah, that's better. Oh. So this applies for family life too.
Yeah.
You have to decide, do I take my wife out on a date or do I work a little bit longer? There's a trade-off.
There's a trade-off, and honestly, one instance, 1 week of doing that, of making that decision, might, I would say, on a general statement, probably is not going to affect the rest of your life. The 1 week.
Okay.
But that 1 week typically becomes 2 weeks.
Oh.
Typically becomes 3 weeks.
You're talking about habits now.
And then typically becomes 4 weeks. So, just in the same way of going to the gym and exercising every day.
Yeah.
Okay. You create a habit. So you go Monday, you go Tuesday, it gets a little easier. Go Wednesday, it gets a little easier. Pretty soon it becomes a habit. But by not going, you're creating a habit in the other direction. You're creating a habit of inaction.
So whatever you schedule is what gets done. So whatever your priorities are, maybe your priorities are business driven. Maybe you need more sales. Maybe you need to grow this business. That's what we're talking about. Maybe your priorities are, this year I want to spend more time with my family. Okay, you got to schedule that. This year I want to do more volunteering. Okay, you have to schedule that. Like in advance. Like it's like if you're trying to go on vacation.
What's vacation?
You and I know that we have talked about going snowboarding or going to Nashville or going wherever, right?
Yeah.
And the times that we've talked about it and said, that would be fun, let's definitely do that, and it doesn't happen.
No, never.
Why? Because we get busy.
Yeah.
But what happens? You book the plane tickets, you book the place you're staying at, you book the event, and now you're like, well, I know I'm busy, but I've got this stuff coming up, I can't be there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the same thing for scheduling your priorities, okay? Whatever your priorities are. So step 1, write this down, embrace your trade-off. Step 2, what is scheduled gets done. Step 3, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. More non-pillowy talk here. This is from Tim Ferriss, best-selling author of the 4-Hour Work Week, venture capitalist, one of the world's top podcasters. New book just came out, Tools of Titans. You've been reading that book?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Give me the Tim Ferriss quote here.
He says, a person's success in life can usually be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations he or she is willing to have.
Success in life can be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations he or she is willing to have.
That's right.
So whether that's uncomfortable conversations with others or uncomfortable decisions you're making for yourself, that's what's going to decide how successful you are and what you want to do. And we're not telling you what you need. We're not telling you what your priorities are. You know what your priorities are, but you're going to have to potentially become comfortable with being uncomfortable to reach the success level that you want to be at. Do you have any examples here, Marshall? These are the 3 principles. Again, one more time, write these down. Embrace trade-offs. What is scheduled gets done, and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because we're going to dive into the actual practical steps here from Lee Cockrell on Time Management Magic. Do you have any last thoughts here on this last point here?
I do.
I'm excited about it.
So, Tim Ferriss wrote best-selling book, The 4-Hour Work Week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing a book. It's called The 4-Hour Sleep Week.
4-Hour Sleep Week. Okay.
And so, best example to give everybody that is watching right now is being uncomfortable can be as simple as being a little bit tired because you're not maybe getting as much sleep as you should. And sometimes that is the sacrifice that you have to make in order to get a lot of stuff done. Do you want to sleep or do you want to finish that project or build out a business system or research your competition or do all these different things? Everybody has the same amount of hours in the day, but it might require you to get up early or stay up late or be tired the next day. Whatever that is a uncomfortable situation that you might have to go through in order to get to that next level.
That's a good example. I'm going to go ahead with another example here. Talking about being uncomfortable. That means you're going to have to say no to a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's not sleep. Maybe you desire sleep. Maybe you want to, get a solid 6-7 hours of sleep every day to make sure you can function. Cool. Well, that means you maybe can't hang out and watch TV. We've talked that before. You can't play video games. Okay, those are the cliche answers. Well, maybe that means you can't go hang out with your friends this weekend.
Real talk, 3 times this week. It's a new, I don't want to say record because I'm not proud of it, but it's what has to happen. 3 times this week, my mom has invited me to either go to like lunch or dinner. And I've said, I'm sorry, absolutely not. And like, I feel bad. I love my mom. I love spending time with my mom. Mom, you watch this show. My mom watches this show. Yeah, she's like,
hi, Mrs. Morris.
Yeah. So anyways, but she's like, do you want to go, like, you go like connect and have dinner. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm just like, I have so much work to be done, but that's what I've time blocked for this week, and that's uncomfortable. I don't necessarily want to have to say that, okay?
Sure.
But I do have time blocked for them. So I do have time blocked for every Sunday. I'm going over there, and I'm saying no to everything else. So in terms of what you're saying, uncomfortable is saying no. Steve Jobs says that he's just as proud of the 1,000 other things that they've said no to as the things that he has done, okay?
By saying no to the 1,000 other things, it gave him space to work on the things that were his top priority.
That's right.
Because as we discussed, there is no such thing as time management, right? It's priority management. You're choosing what it is I'm actually going to get done.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So those were the 3 steps. You do have to know your priorities to function here. So if you don't have like a list of your priorities, get that done. And then write down those 3 principles, embrace trade-offs, what a schedule gets done, and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, the rest of this segment here is going to be sponsored by the Time Management Magic, how to get more done every day and move from surviving to thriving. This is from the main man, Lee Cockrell. Lee Cockrell was a executive VP at Walt Disney World Resort, managed over 40,000 cast members, and now gets to travel around, write books, speak to people all over the world, and he's a nice guy too.
Yeah,
cool guy.
Yeah, I like him.
We've had him here in the office. He's on Thrive 15.
That's right.
It's cool. Okay, so let's dive into this, and we're talking about how to actually do this. So first of all, we're going to condense your list into one to-do list. Marshall, do you have your one to-do list with you?
I think I left it on my desk.
That's amazing. It's normally like stapled to your hip.
Yeah, it's
Chup.
Can you get my to-do list on my desk, please?
Chup will grab that so we can have a visual here. Yeah, here it comes.
Thank you.
Yeah, just bring it in here. There you go. Okay, so we'll get a visual of this here.
Whoa.
Sam, just hand paper to Marshall. Okay, so here's a little visual here. Got this all color coded. Give us a 3-second explanation of your color coding system and why you do it this way.
Oh, it's actually not really a system.
No.
But it is a system. Check this out. So the blue is the header information, just things that like I can't ever like forget.
Yeah.
So things like my phone number and my address and a motivational quote up at the top.
Okay.
Okay. And then it's just some links. So I actually have all of my my utilities accounts numbers up at the top because you never know when you're going to lose heat and you need that readily accessible. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
In some of the logins that I always need immediately. Then, okay, so that's blue, and that just stays at the top of the list every single day. Then I have green, which are like long-term projects, and yellow, which are just people that I need to save their phone numbers, okay? It's just kind of like a backup for their phone numbers where they haven't made it into my phone yet.
Okay.
But if I need to reach out to them, that's what I do.
Okay.
And then everything else that needs to get done is just white. It's just white, and I enumerate it. I prioritize it 1 to down.
So wait, the big thing that I'm taking away from this, and I wanted to point out, was you have a lot of random stuff on there.
Yeah.
This is your to-do list. You have like utility phone numbers. You have your business stuff. You have what is my address.
It's everything that I could ever need.
You've got one list.
One list. So can I read a couple of these things?
Yeah, sure.
I feel vulnerable for sharing. It's submit insert for Grandpa's birthday book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's super important to me, so I want to do that today.
Okay, so that's a family thing that's on your list?
Then we have confirm this hand-up account for Thrive15.com.
Okay.
That's one of those.
Okay.
Then finish chiropractic pro forma. Okay?
Okay.
Then you go down here, look at reading The Rise of Superman. I want to read this book, so I put it on
The Rise of Superman.
Yeah, it's a good book. Then the Get Down review.
You want to review the Get Down?
Review the Get Down and I'm supposed to listen to this NPR, deal. So it's like business and personal, and it's just like everything that needs to get done. It just goes onto the list.
It goes everything.
Everything.
Okay, so here's the Lee Cockrell quote. We started with all that to tell you. The Lee Cockrell quote, we have one life, so we should have one to-do list. One list for work, family, fitness, financial, whatever goals and priorities you have that need to be addressed. So whatever your priorities are, whatever your big things you have to get done, they go on one list.
That's right.
Why are they not on like 4 different lists? Like, why don't you have a list for your family stuff, a list for your work stuff, a list for your...
Because you only have one life, and everything has to get done in that same 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it's not like you have 24 hours for personal and 24 hours for business.
Which would be nice, though.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
But, like, my time has to be used in one area or the other.
Okay.
And so I have to prioritize it as such.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if I had 4 lists, that's 4 things that I have to manage. Now I have everything managed all on one document, one time.
Okay, so one list. If you're at home, keeping track, you need one list. And whether that's done electronically, like on your phone, like a Wunderlist app, or maybe it's done print paper, color-coded version, like the Marshall Morris method, the Clay Clark method.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that works for you, it's one list, okay? One list. Now, let's dive into how we're actually going to specifically, practically build this list. Because these sound like, it's common sense type stuff, but it's stuff that nobody ever does because they're not good at this. Okay. Number 1, you're going to set aside a specific time to plan out your day.
I would say that this is the most frequently missed step of Lee Cockrell's process.
So number 1, whether it's the night before, whether it's early in that morning, you need to have a specific time to plan out your action plan for that day.
That's right.
Why is this the most often missed one here, Marshall?
Because it's the one where it requires you to put everything out of your mind and just think quietly and critically on what needs to get done. So people will create a to-do list throughout the day and just like be reactive to it. And this is a proactive activity. Proactive.
Does it take some diligence?
Yeah, it does.
Does it take some discipline?
Yeah, it does.
Does it take to start time managing and priority managing well? You have to have like actually time block to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like boring, but it's the practical step that'll actually like if you nail this, the rest of it you're on pace, right?
Right.
Like if you nail this, if you say okay, 6:30 in the morning, from 6:30 to 6:45, I'm planning out my day.
If you were running a 400-meter race and they said, we're going to give you a 10-second head start, your chances are you're going to finish that race before a lot of the other people.
Okay.
Maybe not me, but that, like, if you want to, like, get more done than other people do in the day, just wake up earlier.
Ow.
Just wake up earlier, prioritize your day.
Ow, Marshall. Ow.
Anyways.
Didn't you win a Clydesdale division race or something like that? Didn't you?
One of them.
Okay. Clydesdale division. Marshall Morris. Don't test him. Don't test him. He'll race you. Okay, so that was number 1. Set aside a specific time to plan out your day. If you nail that, you're already well on your way. Number 2 is set aside a specific place to plan out your day. Now, why isn't this included with number 1? Why are we making this a separate point here, Marshall?
Because the kitchen table with all the kids running around is probably not a specific place that you want to be trying to critically manage your priorities.
So if I say 6:30, whenever 6:30 hits, wherever I am, that's when I'm going to plan out my day. Chances are you're not going to consistently be able to focus.
Right.
Consistently not like shield out everything else around you.
That's right.
Okay. So setting aside a specific place to plan out your day then is almost as important as step number 1, having the specific time.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever it is for you, maybe it's at the office, maybe it's somewhere at your house, maybe it's in your car, wherever it is that you can get a little bit of you time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that you can consistently do it. Say, okay, Marshall yelled at me and said I had to get up earlier, so 6:15 in the guest room every morning is where I'm going to plan out my day. I'm going to lay out my action steps. So we're talking about priority management. We're talking about taking advantage of your option, which is to control your day, as opposed to letting your day just kind of happen to you, and then at the end of the day being like, I didn't get everything done. Dang it. This happens every time.
That's right.
Okay. Step number 3 here. Step number 3, we're getting into some nitty-gritty here. This is good stuff. Step number 3, this is the Lee Cockerell time management magic system here. List all of your items with an A, B, or C priority. A means top priority, must be done now, must be done today. B, not an immediate need, but it has long-term value. And C, less than a top priority. So you're going to have stuff that's already scheduled in your day. Maybe you have that meeting at 10 a.m. Maybe you got that sales call at 1. Maybe you've got to pick up the kids at 4. Maybe you've already got things that like have to happen, right?
That's right.
Okay. So then those are already on your schedule. You're looking at your schedule. You've got your list of priorities right here, your to-dos, and you've got your calendars right here. Okay? Bam, bam. 1, 2. And then on that calendar, you're going to say, okay, 11, I got something. 1, I got something. 3, I got something. Okay, those are... Okay, so in between those times, now on my to-do list that I've laid out of A, B, and C priority, or the Marshall Morris 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this order of priority, now I can start fitting those into those time gaps.
That's right.
Okay, I don't have anything from 9 to 11. I'm going to start writing the book. Or I guess that'd be more of a B. Explain to them a B. Explain to them the not immediate need, but long-term value here.
So a B would be like search engine optimization. I need to write 2 articles for my website to get to the top of Google. Doing that today won't have an immediate impact, but if I do that every day for an entire year, I'm going to be dominant with my Google strategy.
So you're saying that if I look forward in the future and this big thing is done, it's going to strategically give me a lot of value.
That's right.
It's not answering the sales call that I have to make today. It's not firing that guy that I've got to fire today. It's not updating the website that I have to update today with the current special. It's not those things. But it's something that's going to offer you a lot of value, okay? So you got to start fitting your A's and your B's into your calendar. Remember what we said? What gets scheduled is what actually gets done.
That's right.
So you got to put those A's and B's in your time gaps, okay? And then also, things you normally take longer than you think they should. Got something going on over there?
Yeah.
No.
I'm just waiting. I got my next client's coming in.
Oh, you're hovering.
I am hovering.
You're hovering. Okay. Things usually take longer than you think they will. So if you think it takes 30 minutes to get your priority A thing done, schedule 45 minutes because it's going to take longer than 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to run up against that meeting, not get your thing done, and you're going to be all frazzled, and then it all doesn't work, okay? So give yourself a little bit of padding time. If you think it's going to take 30, say it takes 45. If you think it takes 15, say it takes 30, whatever it is, okay? That's how you're going to get these things actually fit into these calendar spots and get them done. C is less than top priority. C is basically a throwaway at this point.
A throwaway.
It's basically a throwaway. Because it's likely that you have enough A's and B's on your schedule
that you can't get
that
to
you
it.
can't get to the C's.
And if it consistently is a C,
if it's consistently a C,
then it maybe doesn't even be on there.
then you just, well, I wanted to do that, but not going to do it.
That's right.
We're embracing that trade-off.
That's right.
We're saying these A's I have to get done.
Yeah.
These C's I want to get that. I want to get that done. You know what? I'm never going to get that done. Crossing it off the list.
That's right.
Not going to happen. Okay, so those are the C's there. One more time. A, top priority must be done now, immediately, today, this week. B, not immediate need, but has long-term value. Things that have strategic long-term value for you. And C, less than top priority. If it continues being a C, then just cross it off your list and embrace it. You're never going to do it.
Go poof.
Never going to do it.
Not going to happen.
Was going to return that Blockbuster video, but
not going to
not going to happen.
Just pay for it.
Just pay for it.
Yeah.
I'll pay $20, whatever. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're out of business now. I don't think you have to pay them anymore.
That's okay.
Okay. We're moving on here to step number 4. This is the last step here of the time management magic. And we're hitting the summary version here. Definitely go check out this book, Time Management Magic, How to Get More Done Every Day and Move from Surviving to Thriving by Lee Cockerell. Number 4, and this is sort of a... Oh, so we already talked about number 4.
Yeah.
I skipped ahead.
Yeah, you kind of worked 4
I kind of worked 4
3.
into 3.
Yeah.
4 is what time are you actually getting the stuff done?
Yeah.
You're scheduling your priorities. You're looking at your calendar. You're saying no to non-important things. You're adding in your A and B priorities into your calendar at specific times until you're out of time in that day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to be done at 5. Cool. You're done at 5. Maybe you want to be done at 7. Cool. You're done at 7. Maybe you're saying, I'm adding in all my family stuff priorities here. I'm going to bed at 11:30 tonight. Cool. Add in everything that you can fit into your calendar until it is time for you to quit doing things, whatever time you want to be done with things, and then you have that list for tomorrow sitting there because you've already filled in the stuff that you could get done in that day.
That's right.
That's how we're just going to schedule our priorities. Okay. Still don't have enough time. We've talked about this. Time maximization questions. What can you say no to? TV, social gatherings, non-essential tasks. What are the things that you're doing in your life that you like doing, or maybe even don't like doing, but you currently are doing that you need to cut out to give yourself more time to get the things that really matter done? You said you worked with 4 clients in the last 36 hours on this.
Yeah.
Was there anything in that client's day that they need to be like, you know what? I need to quit doing this because I did not have enough time while doing this to get my priorities done.
Yeah, I said specifically, you're spending 80% of your time doing this activity. Is there anybody else that can do that? They go, yeah, they just need a form to be able to do X, Y, and Z. I go, cool, let's make that form. We made the form 20 minutes. Now that 80% of that time has been freed up for more strategic things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe there's something in your business that you don't specifically need to be doing. Maybe it's something that you can delegate with a checklist, with a form, with some oversight. Okay, I'm going to take this off my plate. I'm going to give it to this guy. I'll follow up with him to make sure it actually gets done well, but now I've freed up that half hour or that hour in my day to get other priority things done.
That's right.
Okay. This is all practical, nitty-gritty, good stuff here. Like if you actually followed this stuff, your days would get better and you get more stuff done. Mm-hmm. So for Michael and Samuel and Sarah, this is really good stuff for you. Hopefully you were tuning in. Hopefully you got these all jotted down. And if you actually execute, remember, ideas aren't worth anything. Execution is everything. If you execute this stuff, your days are going to get better. Okay. Let's move on to the daily wins of the week here, Marshall. The daily wins of the week. I do need some mojo from you. I know you're running into a little bit of time blocking prioritization here in a few minutes anyway. So we're going to shut her on down. Daily wins of the week.
We are gathered here today to get through this thing.
Okay. So let's do it.
Well, here we go. Here we go. So Lee Cockrell, he worked at Walt Disney World Resort for a long time, executive VP. And I'm going to give you a lot of leeway here. I'm going to let you choose any Disney character you want and announce the daily wins of the week that way. whichever one you want.
Isn't Darth Vader a Disney character now?
Now it is. Yeah. I told you I was going to give you leeway on this one. And yeah, Disney now does own the Star Wars franchise.
I feel like a Darth Vader.
That's fine. Hey.
Mostly because I'm stuffed up, and that's the only thing that I can do. Anyways.
So you feel like that's naturally going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, your daily wins of the week.
Well, they would not replace your voice with James Earl Jones' voice. They would not do that. But the breathing was spot on. The breathing was spot on. That was really good. Okay, go ahead and hit me with the daily wins of the week here, Marshall.
Okay, daily wins of the week. Again, we got Tip Top Canine. They were doing $2,000 a week in sales.
Yep.
During a holiday week, they just did over $10,000.
Over $12,000.
$12,000. Over $12,000 in sales.
So they were doing $2,000 a week. They just are now doing over $12,000 a week.
Yeah.
And this is during a holiday week. This is during a time where most people are like, take it off. I've got stuff. I'm going to hang out. It's the holidays. And they're like, we're going to just up our sales volume by 6 times.
Yeah, because most people, they don't want to work during the holiday week.
So their big number thing here is earlier we talked about them on a previous episode because they just started getting a ton of leads. Now their sales conversion is 80% better metrically than it was before. And now they're selling a bunch of stuff.
They're awesome.
That's awesome. Those guys are awesome. Tip Top Canine. Is it tiptopcanine.com?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Check it out. Tip Top Canine. If you want your dog trained, they do the thing.
Yeah.
They do a great job. And now that their sales conversion is 80% better, they are killing it. Great job, you guys. If you don't know what we do here, go ahead and show them there, Sam. ThriveTimeShow.com/workshops. ThriveTimeShow.com/workshops. Thrive 15 is a business building platform. The workshops are one avenue of which you can get massive business growth. And in this case, it's a 2-day, 16-hour event. It's going to change everything about your business. Tip Top Canine is one of the business clients here at Thrive15.com, which means we meet them on a weekly basis, and we help them build their business strategically and grow it in a huge way. And they're having a ton of success. We're really excited for those guys. Lastly, if you don't want to dive in yet, but you want to kind of get your feet wet, go to Thrive15.com, fill out a business evaluation. You're going to get that book, Thrive, How to Take Control of Your Destiny and Move Beyond Surviving Now. You're going to get that free if you mention that you saw us at the Daily Hustle Show. That's the only way you're going to get that book for free. Right there, Thrive, How to Take Control of Your Destiny and Move Beyond Surviving Now with Clay Clark, the COO of Thrive15.com. That is it for today. Marshall Morris, so glad you survived. So glad you made it through. You've got another meeting here in about 4 minutes.
I cannot explain to you how much I appreciate you coming to my salvation this morning. I sincerely, the coffee was a huge lifesaver.
Well, the coffee was my normal go-to. And if you don't know, now you know.
Can you share that recipe on the next episode?
On the next, yeah, stay tuned. This is the teaser here. On the next episode, I will share my coffee recipe.
Drink. It's
How
awesome.
how I order a drink at Starbucks. It's not. I mean, it's not that important. But stick around because major teaser, that's coming up on the next episode. All right, for everyone at home, thanks for tuning in. Marshall Morris over there, Daniel McKenna over here. We'll see you next time. Boom.